Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late in the morning. In the morning with you and you and you and you. In the morning. The morning is great. Stay up late in the morning. In the morning with you. Nothing could be grander than to be in Louisiana. All right, folks. Hey, I'm doing a little video to share the fact that I'm going to be hanging out with a group of you. And now you have little twinkly lights behind me. For the next 3 months. So we're just concluding the Spring Elephant Academy. And the Summer Elephant Academy is starting super soon. So if you're interested in being getting trained to be a successful writer who is of benefit to this world, to the planet, to society, that's gonna, the info is at elephantjournal.com/academy. So if you have any questions for me about fake news, about my mom, who's right there? What are you doing, Mom?
I'm writing a note for Michelle.
About Redford, who's over here, or about Elephant Academy, and let me turn that around. And you know what we teach here at Elephant, we are super active in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We've been named #1 in the country twice for environmental coverage, et cetera, et cetera. We have 5 million Facebook fans. We have 5 million YouTube plus views, and 11 million readers a month. So all those numbers are really just dedicated, in our case, to trying to be some small, humble benefit. And that's not false modesty. We're just, even though we've been pretty big over the years, you know, we've done it through independent media, and that's always a kind of evolving battle. So hello to Ilza from Latvia, and Leslie. Hey, Leslie, Tustin, Dustin. I'm not sure where you are. And Heather, who is a cool little tiny house icon or something. Anyway, so if you have any questions about the Academy, I'm all yours. But basically, in this era of fake news, we saw it attack the French election. It obviously attacked the U.S. election. Telling the truth in a helpful way is all the more important. I hope you all agree. And fake news has now become like a cudgel for the right to hit the left with and the left to hit the right with. Fake news is not necessarily a partisan thing. It's really just basically people trying to get through the Facebook algorithm with kind of fantastic stories like Hillary Clinton is a devil-worshipping Death Eater, whatever, who had a pedophilia ring in a basement of a restaurant that doesn't have a basement at all. So we're trying to practice journalism. We're trying to practice creative writing. And if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a poet, if you want to learn how to use Instagram, Facebook, blogging, editing, we're here for you. And that's about all I got. In terms of my path as a writer, I've written a book. I don't know where it is. And I kickstarted it. I used the available and evolving technology. I didn't have any money. I just went for it. And it's been super successful, which is really fun. And I got to write about sort of the Buddhist perspective on relationships. So if you have a question about writing books, we'll also discuss that in the Academy, or now, right now. Yeah, exactly, Dustin. This shirt, also this shirt. Do you see this? Who is this? Is this? No, I know, but is that Kagamusha?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So how to find my voice as a writer. I mean, I think the main thing is to not view writing as performance, but to view it as just sharing. I think Kerouac or Ginsberg said, true art is sharing what you don't want to share that is helpful to others. And I think that's just part of it. Jessica, my favorite poet. Who's your favorite poet, Mom?
I really love Philip Waylon.
Philip Waylon, my namesake.
That's right.
But I would say Walt Whitman is hard to beat. His voice is kind of both gentle and thundering.
Charles Olson.
Charles Olson, I don't really know.
Yeah, you should read him.
Why do you like Charles Olson?
He was a great big giant man who lived in New England and talked about the old ways of the clipper ships and all the white houses in New England. And he loved nature, and he went down to the Yucatan and wrote the Mayan letters and talked about indigenous cultures. And he wasn't like part of a mindfulness movement, but he was mindful.
Right. You don't need to be a card-carrying member of your local yoga studio or whatever to be mindful.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was just this big, jolly man that was brilliant wherever he went.
Huh. Well, I'll have to look into him.
He called Philip Waylon, "You big vegetable." But they had a playful relationship.
Right. He kind of was. Speaking of big vegetables.
But, yes, there's number one, grand doggy vegetable.
Yeah. So I also loved, when I was at Boston University, I got to study with Derek Walcott and Robert Pinsky. Those were two pretty interesting poets.
Gary Snyder.
Obviously, Gary Snyder is, if you love nature, Gary Snyder is amazing. I was going to say Ginsberg. I mean, I love all the beats.
I love the beat Ginsberg. I love Sunflower Sutra and, all those of that era more than some of the later stuff.
Who loves what poet? Who's your favorite poet? Who else? Byron, going way back.
Blake.
William Blake. He's not just a poet. He's like a spiritual teacher almost. Mystic. Yeah.
Because he didn't fit the category of romantic.
Everyone loves Hafiz and Rumi and Kahlil Gibran. Ironically, largely thanks to Instagram, I feel like it's become such a vehicle for sharing quotes. William Carlos Williams. What's a favorite poem? What was the one you said the other day? I love the red fire truck. What's that one?
The red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater. Something
in the rain.
So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater. It was like haiku.
Right.
And he would, he's famous for no ideas but in things.
Right.
So he showed so much by just creating a picture with his words. And he, Ginsberg liked William Carlos Williams a great deal. And also, surprisingly, a lot of the poets, like some of those early poets of that time, also liked Ezra Pound, who had questionable politics.
Right.
But was also really brilliant in his poetry. Like he would say things in his poetry like, I'm paraphrasing, but who next will we place a tin wreath upon, referring to demagogues like we currently have in the presidential office.
What about like Yeats?
Keats and
Yeats. Keats and Yeats. Shane, we have many articles on our site about adoption. If you'd like to write one or read one, you can just go to elephantjournal.com/submit if you want to write one. But yeah, these questions come to me from, most of the questions I've been trying to touch on right here quickly come to me from the director, the dean of the Elephant Academy, Caitlin Oriel, and she asks about your path to finding your voice as a writer. So I love what my mom just reminded us. Who was that from? About no ideas but in things. William Carlos Williams. Because too many people try to write flowery, profound language, and that's really just that's fine. And I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. But it's just sort of adolescent kind of performance, theistic writing. And really, if you just kind of find your voice, you have to be specific and write in an incredibly grounded. That's not exactly it. In an incredibly specific. I don't even know how to say it.
Grounded and specific's pretty good.
But you can still write about the heavens, but it has to be real, not kind of just flowery, I guess.
This morning I saw 4 blue jays flying into the blue sky.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they almost were invisible because the sky was so blue and they were so brightly blue.
Right. So there you didn't use any hyperbole or cliche. You just said what you saw directly. You're sniffling again. Time to blow your nosy. My mom is having altitude issues, possibly. Heather, I'm an Elephant Academy grad, summer 1916. Way back in 1916, when Elephant Academy was carried out through what was the thing on the trains? Morse code, kind of?
Morse code, yeah.
Whatever it was. And it was a great experience for me. If someone is considering doing the Academy, I can highly recommend it. You'll learn so much about yourself as a writer in the process. Thank you, Heather. I will send you your $5 later. Dustin, Kurt Vonnegut, amen. Not a poet. Yeah, I mean, if we want to get into writers generally, we'll be here all day, and it would be a fun all-day conversation. But Kurt Vonnegut could be a poet, right? Yeah. I mean, that man he was so kind and so funny and so sharp.
Hemingway for the simplicity of his writing.
Right.
Like no extraneous adjectives and adverbs. He just told things as they were. Very, very bare-bone writing.
Right. So, Elephant Academy, it's starting in, I don't really remember when, but you have to apply soon. It's elephantjournal.com/academy. And you can there's a really cheap kind of low commitment level, and there's a more expensive immersive level where you actually work with us directly and get training. So if you don't have much time, you can do the cheap one and get all the materials. And if you have, you really want to go for the gusto, you can get in a little group with us and learn. And we present a couple hours of lectures and discussions every week. You actually will help Elephant do social media. I mean, we'll help you learn how to do it, but you'll actually get to do it live in the field. So if you study how to become a successful writer at a college, that's great. Or some online training, that's great. But it's important to practice with people who are live in the field, because social media is at least 75% of the successful part of being a successful writer. Maria, hello from Glastonbury. All right, just spent your morning doodling in a cafe. That's a good tradition. All right, I think I'm good. We're sharing lots of info on Instagram.com/elephantjournal if you want to check it out. I'm not seeing too many tags or links or anything. Oh, there's one in the comments. That would be great to get the elephantjournal.com/academy link in there. And if there's no questions, I'm outie. Thank you for the compliments on the shirt. I'll wait 10 seconds. If you have any questions about writing, finding your voice, about how to handle fake news, about journalism ethics, about meditation and writing. Mom, we could just do one just on meditation. Are you leaving?
No.
My mom's just visiting from Canada, so we get to have her. Oh, good. The link is in there. I missed it before, so thank you. All right. I'm out.
I'm going to put this on the door.
Cool. Thank you. If you had a good time, if you appreciated my mom's little discussion, give it a like or a love. That'll help it get out beyond the choir through the Facebook algorithm to many, many people. And I'm happy to talk about anything you guys want to talk about if you have questions. Andrew, thank you. Jessica, thank you. God, we got so many people here. We might as well discuss something. All right, Lauren, what's the best way to start writing? I think a lot of people would say just start writing. I actually wouldn't say that. I would say the best way to start writing is to read and read and read and read, and it'll develop your language. It'll develop your taste for how you want to write and how you want to express yourself. It's kind of like how little children will look at their parents to see how they react to troubling things. Like this morning I burned my toast and the fire alarm went off, and Redford, my dog, freaked out, did not like it because he's super dog hearing. My mom kind of froze up, and it's happened to me so many times I just turned it off. So you see different reactions, and that's how you learn. It's the same thing with reading. And then living, having your heart broken, not in some melodramatic way, but it'll just happen, and it's a beautiful, horrible thing. And then growing up a little bit, and then writing about that, sharing about that, coming back to that quote Allen Ginsberg shared, that what's most helpful is to share what you least want to share. That's what the world is bleeding to hear, something like that. So then writing will be a natural thing. A lot of people talk about discipline in writing, having your desk in a certain place, having a certain time. Do you like that kind of thing with writing?
Yeah, also I think he was implying...
I don't like it.
Also, he was, Ginsberg was implying when you...
No, I love that quote.
Yeah, when you do that, then you're also being vulnerable. Because no one wants to kind of hear triumph after triumph after triumph. But when...
So then I was super charming, and then I traveled. I mean, that's great for fiction, James Bond or something, but... Yeah, you want people genuinely communicating. And then whatever they're talking about, good, bad, happy, or sad, it's going to be... There's going to be a connection.
And the reader can enter in somehow where there's the vulnerability.
The reader can enter in where where the vulnerability is.
Yeah.
In the writing. That's beautiful. Maria, how do you put your work out there? Any tips? Muchly appreciated. So that's kind of what we talk about in the Academy, how to use Instagram or Snapchat or videos or Facebook or Twitter or blogging, WordPress, what have you, to get your writing out there. There's so many different ways, and Elephant is constantly evolving with social media. We've won awards on almost every platform of social media, not because we're so great, but because we're open-minded and because we have to evolve, because we're young, we're independent, we're not some huge corporate-owned media. So that gives us, as Paul Hawkins said when I interviewed him, it gives us a certain strength that we're so vulnerable. And that's not a spiritual comment. That just means we have to be awake to change. And that's healthy in a relationship, it's healthy in a business. So how to use social media is a huge part of how to get your writing out there. You can, of course, you can write on Elephant, but in the Academy, we spent 3 months going through teaching you how to become a successful writer, not just a good writer, which is probably more important in a way, but how to become a successful writer, because if you're a good writer and you can't get it out there, does anyone hear the tree falling in the forest if no one's around to hear it? No. So Jessica, my book is called Things I Would Like to Do With You. It's actually not, it's poetic, I guess, but it's hard to describe. It's basically about the Buddhist path of relationships and my personal experience of that. It's called Things I Would Like to Do With You, and you can, if anyone's still on this video from Elephant, you can get it from elephantjournal.com/books. Are you wearing your boots indoors?
Yeah, I was ready to
Violation, violation.
I was
All
ready
right.
to walk him down to the office, or, take him on a long walk and wind up at the office.
Talk to the hand. Alrighty. Waylon from Elephant Editor on duty. Waylon, would you chat a bit about how the mindful life component is the 5th component that is weaved throughout the whole course? So in the Elephant Academy, we talk about writing or blogging. We talk about editing. We talk about journalism ethics. And we talk about social media. Those are the 4 parts. The 5th, kind of bonus thumb there, is the mindful life. That the mission of writing, of communication, is not performance, is not fame. Those may be kind of side dishes or byproducts, but the mission is to be a benefit and to communicate truly, genuinely. And that's where we can kind of fight fake news. Telling truth from a personal story or from a journalism point of view, either way, the more we can be true and honest, self-critical when appropriate. A big part of fake news is just hating and blaming the other people, trying to win a war. There's an agenda there. Sherlock Holmes, I love to talk about this quote. In a journalism context, he said, "I'm not a genius." This is from Arthur Conan Doyle. "I'm not a genius. I just go into a situation with no preconception, and I let the clues tell me what happened. I arrange what happened according to the clues. I don't, instead, like the others, go in with a preconception, oh, the angry ex-wife must have killed the husband, and then arrange all the clues to fit my preconception." So same thing in writing, same thing in journalism. We have to be open-minded. That doesn't mean we don't have views that are based on facts, like maybe climate change is real, or maybe being kind is good. You can have common sense preconceptions that are based on facts, but you have to always be willing to question everything, just like in science. So the mindful life, basically, it's just about the mission or intention of communication. And then if people feel that you're trying to be a benefit, not just trying to benefit yourself, they'll be more receptive, which ironically will help you often be more successful. Yeah, Lauren, I'm really not a fan of discipline as a kind of hard, mean thing. Discipline should be joyful. You should want to sit down to write. You should want to, or stand up to write these days at standing desks. Yeah, you shouldn't have to beat yourself over the head with it and guilt trip yourself about it. That's what leads to writer's block, right? So finishing a book, Ilza, I wrote about that as well with the Elephant Journal. Finishing a book is actually really easy if you do it kind of in the way I did it, which was serializing it, which is a long, long tradition. And in that way, I also built up 100,000 fans specifically for my book before I'd even published the book. So we can talk about how to write a book too in Elephant Journal Academy, Elephant Academy. And if you're just tuning in, you can get that link, elephantjournal.com/academy. You can do a low-level commitment version or a high immersive version. You taking off?
Yeah, I'm going to take him on a long walk, and I'll wind up at the
Yay.
office because that's where you are, right?
Bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'll be at the HQ.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Where's a good place to introduce poetry? Obviously, Instagram has really become an amazing platform for poetry, at least short poetry. Yeah, I think they've all migrated to the back. But again, we'll teach about that. And poetry is hugely successful on Elephant. We have 11 million readers a month, and poetry is probably 10% of that is huge on Elephant. So I really, it's kind of a renaissance time for poetry in the world. Just when it was the least popular thing, the hardest thing to base a career on, it's kind of blown up. There's a best-selling book, I think, that's poetry that came out of Instagram. All right. Dustin, great comments from you today. Reading allows you into the minds of great writers, therefore giving you priceless wisdom to develop your own voice. Well said. Yeah, you're not looking to steal their voice. You're just looking to kind of find reference points for what will become your way of communicating. Yeah, Tiffany, it's an online academy. You can do it from anywhere. It's 4 months or 3 months if you're doing it in the immersive version. That's $750. And really, these are crazy cheap. We're not trying to make money here. Nothing's wrong with making money, but we're not trying to, this isn't some big selling snake oil on Dr. Oz. This is incredibly affordable. And then there's a low commitment level that's even cheaper, $250. And either way, you get all the info. If you do the low level, you can do it at any time over the course of a year. If you do the higher level, it's a 3-month course, and the applications are, we're taking them now for the summer session. And we've been doing this for, I think, nearly 10 years. So it's got a really good track record, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably a couple thousand people have graduated it from over the years. Thanks for the question. Yeah, there's a link to my book, elephantjournal.com/books, or that's a directly link. Excellent. From Derlin. Excellent. Jennifer, magical. That's how I describe your book. Oh, well, thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. I'm not covering my mic, but there could be a problem with the mic. I just gave a talk the other day, and the sound was god-awful. Is the sound bad for anyone else? Maybe my phone's dying. I haven't even been touching my mic. Dustin, the shirt. How do you build your confidence to put your work out? Lisa, exactly. So that's, again, what we focus on in the academy. It's like a craft, and you learn, and you learn, and you do, and you do, and you learn, and you listen. You don't just kind of hit it. You relax, you listen, you learn, you take in, you give out, you practice. It's a whole process. So that's kind of what we go over in Elephant Academy. So Katie, fake news, as I see it, basically came out of Facebook's algorithm a couple years ago. Facebook used to prioritize journalism, and then about 2 years ago they made a switch so that Aunt Sally's comment about the cookies she just baked would be seen at the highest. Facebook said, we want conversations among friends, among families to be at the very top. Before it was more balanced. And while that sounds nice, you want to hear Aunt Sally, it made journalism kind of fall down. And then the only way for journalism to get through was to have these kind of clickbaity headlines. And the clickbaity headlines, of course, are even easier to write if you're not bound by truth. If you can just make up anything, like Hillary Clinton is an alien from Mars, and she, is killing people and is funded by whatever. So fake news blossomed. And so fake news is basically anything that is a deliberate lie to advance an agenda and to confuse people. And journalism is a wonderful tonic, is our protection, is our shield against that. Journalism, there's good journalism, there's bad journalism, but journalism as a practice is communication based on truth. And a lot of what we see on Fox or CNN or MSNBC isn't journalism, it's entertainment. So it's also, we also teach journalism ethics, how to understand what is truth and what isn't. And truth isn't what you agree with or like. Truth, if I'm a liberal, moderate liberal, truth isn't what agrees with me. Truth is truth. So It's not an agenda-based thing. All right, Elizabeth, I have so many ideas, but no clue how to start my story. Best way to open up to the reader. I mean, honestly, I would just do the academy. I mean, we'll get you rolling. But yeah, ideas really, ironically, aren't the source of great writing usually. They obviously help and they're a part of it. But I have many ideas too. But what gives way to successful, genuine writing is often letting those ideas settle down and then expressing something that's helpful for people and completely genuine to yourself instead of some sort of witty, fun idea. It's probably the same thing in the tech world. When you're trying to brainstorm a good business idea, you don't just want to think of 8,000 things, although that's part of your process. You want to think about a need, a problem, and you want to think about something in your life that you can use to connect with that need or problem to help others. And if it helps many other people in a practical way, in a little way, in a big way, that will likely be successful, right? All right, where are we? Yeah, Francisca, you should write a book. Yeah, so we'll talk about how to write a book. I wrote a book and it's done very well financially without much distribution. Largely, I've marketed it through Instagram, and I don't really view it as marketing. I just view it as sharing. And I think that's an important distinction. You know, the world doesn't need more hype. It doesn't need more noise. It needs genuine people communicating in a vulnerable way, as my mom said. And vulnerability doesn't mean like oy vey. Vulnerability can be manly. It can be womanly. It can be whatever. Vulnerability is just being genuine, being open. Yeah, so thank you, editor. Applications for the Summer 2017 Academy are due May 25th. Yeah, the sound is in and out. I'm sorry. It's probably time for a new phone, Waylon. Because I've never had that issue until this week. Facundo, yeah, can you do the course Academy being a Spanish speaker? You will need to be able to speak English to do the Academy. But we have had Spanish TAs, teaching assistants. So if you're bilingual, no problem. And in fact, that would be kind of a fun asset. But you will need to have some English speaking skills because it is largely an English program. But it does appear that you can write far better in English than I can in Spanish. So you'd likely be fine. All right, folks. If there's more questions, I'm here for you. Sorry about the sound. I don't know what's up. But this has been fun to touch in with you guys. I hope you have a mindful, helpful, easeful week. I know it's been stressful for some folks out there, given how crazy the world is right now. But, you know, news at 11, the world has always been nuts, and we can help. And we ourselves can relax within that nutsiness, right? And remain available and help. We don't have to get caught up in buying silos in Kansas with frozen beans for the next 25 years in case the apocalypse comes because we're being such jerks that we're helping cause the apocalypse, right? We can create peace every single day. From the kitchen sink level to, you know, to our workplace, and our words, our writing can help create peace. So, big love. Check out elephantjournal.com/academy. Hilda, did I tell my mom I love her? I don't know if I told her I loved her. I do love her, and I tell her often. Robin, what if due to work I'm not available in that time slot? Are there other options for the Immersive Academy? Yeah, Robin, so two things. One, you can do the low commitment level of the Academy, which we've called auditing in the past. You can basically audit. It's $250, and then you can do it at any time, anywhere over the course of a year. But if you want the immersive kind of guided in-person training with the Academy, yes, you can still, if you miss that time slot, that is going to be a thing. Sometimes, hopefully, you'll be able to make it. But if you never can, you can still get all the recorded videos and participate in all the live drills and the live training and have a TA, and it'll still be pretty immersive. Terry Lynn, am I using sunscreen? You must know that the answer is no, because you must be asking that question. Yeah, no, I'm not. But I'm also like really out of it because I woke up a couple hours ago and just read my New Yorker in the hot tub. So I'm not looking my best. I got kind of injured, so I'm sort of just doing PT all the time. Working on being able to raise my arm again. Yeah, good comment. There's so many people. All right, let's just do a meditation instruction, and if you have any more questions about the Academy, I can answer them after that. Does anyone want to meditate? Give it a love or a heart or a like if you do. And this will be Buddhist meditation. We'll do it for 3 minutes. If I don't see any loves or hearts or likes, I will just hang up now and let you get on with your day. Okay, let's do it. Take a great posture, best posture you've taken all week. It's Monday, so that's not saying much. Take a great posture, relax those shoulders, look straight forward, eyes are open, and then put your gaze about 6 feet down, about 45 degrees down. Eyes are open, this is key. We're not trying to shut anything out. This is the Buddhist practice of resting in the present moment, called shamatha. Shamatha. So relax, take a great posture, relax. So take like a superhero posture, then relax. Your mouth can be slightly open and find your breath in and out. To begin, we'll put our hands together and bow to one another all over the world with respect, with appreciation. Find your breath in and out. If you're too busy to do this, you should do this because this will help you be better at doing because you'll be being. If you're distracted, just notice that. You don't have to condemn yourself. Label the distraction, the thought, thinking. Oh, I'm thinking. I'm distracted. And return your attention to your breath. Your attention should ride the breath like a surfer on the wave. And anytime you find yourself distracted, just notice that. Bring your attention back to your breath. And you can do that until you're completely present, or at least mostly present with your breath in and out. Okay, and we can end with a little bow. Thank you so much. Hundreds of people joining in from around the world. There's Jean sneaking through. All right, I'll see if there's any final questions. Lots of hearts. Thank you, guys. It's always good to take a moment to do nothing. All right, I'm going to go put on sunscreen. Thank you so much. Mwah.